It's fucking nuts. And if you're not them, then if you don't support that, then you're a TERF. And they're like, we could shoot TERFs, and then there's like punch it. To TERF, and they think that because they're a woman, it's okay for this woman, this trans woman, to do violence on a biological woman, which is like bananas. Like now we're allowing men to beat up women because they say they're a woman. Oh, it's just two women fighting. Well, no, that's not what that is at all. You just did something that's completely insane, and it's a giant chunk of the population that accept that. And if you say something about it, then you're transphobic, or you're hateful, or you're a part of the patriarchy, or whatever, fill in the blank, whatever the problem is. But like, you're not addressing that you opened the door to one specific group that's always been the most horrible group in our society. It's creepy pervert men that want to fucking prey on women, and now you're letting them into the locker room. And you don't have a solution to that, so you just don't want me talking about it. That's the weird part, because no one gives a fuck about trans men going in the bathroom. You want to go in the bathroom and pee next to me? Who cares? You want me to tell you, want me to call you Bob now? Bob, okay. I'm fine with this. You're not taking anything from men. You're not taking anything. You're not inserting yourself into that world and dominating it. You're just, you're LARPing.
Well, they don't want to admit that there's sometimes a conflict between the rights of different groups, right? They want to pretend that it's just about empathy, and you can have empathy, but you can't. You can't simultaneously have empathy for women, as you're describing, and also for people who want to be the opposite sex in a women's bathroom. Those two things are in direct conflict. Direct conflict, and you're going to have to come out for one side or the other.
It would be one thing if that was never an issue, that there were never men that ever did anything negative to women. If there was no rape ever, it was never done. It was impossible. If no one ever did it, then you would go, well, this is just a non-issue. It's just a place where you wash your hands. But it's not a place where you wash your hands. It's a place where you go to the bathroom.
Yeah,
it's a place where you get changed. It's prisons. People who are violent against women, say they're a woman, they get put in women's prisons where they rape women. That's been done.
Yeah.
Like it made its way that far down the ladder, and like the aliens are probably like waiting to show us the gravity drive. They're like right about to, like, no, look what they're doing. They're not ready yet. Their brains aren't cooked yet. We're still adolescents. Champions are made and legends are tested as UFC 321 brings Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane to the world. And DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of UFC, puts all the action from Abu Dhabi in the palm of your hand. The heavyweight belt is on the line as Aspinall faces Gane, but the night doesn't stop there, and DraftKings Sportsbook delivers the unmatched intensity of UFC 321 right to your fingertips. From takedowns to tap-outs to the thrill of live betting, every fight is loaded with opportunity. New customers, this one is for you. Bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get paid out $300 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code ROGAN. That's code ROGAN to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, pass-through of per-wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
But what's really fascinating is the cognitive dissonance that these people have, because on the one hand they would say that we live in a patriarchal rape culture where women are subjugated and oppressed, and how awful it is for women, and then on the other hand they're like, yeah, right, Derek, you now say you're a woman, right on this way.
But they get past that with trans women or women. They just say it, trans women or women, and that's it. And and then it's like the discussion's over. It's like, okay, are you sure? Are you fucking sure? You know, like maybe some of them are. Like, what, you don't think there's any perverts left? They all got absorbed into the community and reformed? Like, what happened? What happened to the guy from Silence of the Lambs? You know? What happened to Ed Gein? You know this Ed Gein documentary on Netflix? Have you guys watched it?
No.
It's not a documentary, I should say. It's a docudrama with that heartthrob fella. What's that guy's name? Who plays Ed Gein? He's really good, man. It's really creepy. But a lot of it deals with autogynephilia, where Ed Gein used to wear his mom's clothes and he would jack off. And then he started, after his mom died, he tried to dig his mom up. He couldn't. Dug somebody else up, brought her back, skinned her, started wearing her clothes, wearing her skin, and then started killing women and wearing their skin. First he started robbing graves and then cutting up them and turning their skin into furniture and all kinds of shit. But trans communities are complaining about this because the fact that he was a cross-dressing psychopath, it puts them in danger. That was a true story about a guy who was really into dressing up like women and wearing their skin. Like, that puts them in danger. Like, you know, Netflix did a bad thing by talking about a real event that actually happened. A real fucking crazy person who's one of the worst serial killers in the history of this country.
Raj made over $100,000 in 2025. He's now living his dream, trading full-time while traveling the world, often trading straight from his phone. We paid out millions to traders just like Raj, from our Discord of over 50,000 traders to daily success stories on YouTube. Payouts happen every day. Double your account every 10%, up to $2,500,000 in simulated capital. Choose account sizes from $5,000 to $200,000. Backed by 24/7's real support and a 5-star customer promise. Funded Trading Plus is the prop firm for serious traders. No time limits. Pass at your own pace. Get payouts from day one. Weekly withdrawals, up to 100% profit split. Prefer to skip the evaluation? Choose instant funding and start trading right away. Get funded, trade your way, get paid fast. Join now and receive your funded account within hours. Only if...
It's... You have... The one thing I will say about the UK, in the UK's defence, is that I think we've turned the corner with this.
Well, you stopped the gender surgeries before anybody.
Yes.
And the puberty blockers.
And the puberty blockers.
I meant gender surgeries for young kids.
Yeah, and that was as a result of the Cass report. Now, the Cass report was conducted by a lady called Dr. Hilary Cass, who's one of the most prominent paediatricians in the UK, and it was an independent report funded by the Conservative government at the time. But when she published that report, she said there is no evidence, zero evidence that puberty blockers actually help or alleviate distress in children who say that they are gender dysphoric. So, and to be fair to the Labour government at the time, the Labour government now, they actually banned puberty blockers and whatever else. But you just go, why did we have to go through this process? Why did, oh look, we're getting there, but this is something which we all know to be true, apart from a small number of demented people.
You know what a puberty blocker initially was used for, right?
No.
Chemical castration. It's the same drugs they used to give sex offenders to chemically castrate them.
Really?
Yeah, same drugs.
Wow.
Yeah. And they just repurposed it and changed what they call it. You know, they do it with a lot of drugs. That's what they did with ivermectin. Same kind of thing. Yeah.
That's wild. And then...
It's really wild. You want to hear something even more wild?
Go on.
Michael Jackson's doctor claims that that's what his father did to him. And that completely makes sense to me. Because Michael Jackson, when he was young, had a fucking insane talent. Like, insane. He was so good, and his voice was so... And they were so huge. And his father was so overbearing that I could imagine a world where he would decide, like, what's the way to keep his voice the way it is. And you'd use puberty blockers.
Make him a castrato, basically.
Exactly, make him a castrato.
Fuck.
Yeah, and I think that's what they did. But that's what, if you look at his body, it shows no sign of testosterone, right? He's just all limbs, right? Whereas his brothers, you ever see his brothers?
No.
They're thick. They look like athletes. Like, all of them look like thick men. And Michael is like a stick, right? And he always had that high-pitched voice, and he was always able to sing like a castrata. When you listen to his voice, like the song Human Nature, You know that song? It's
Yeah.
a beautiful song. He has an amazing voice. But if you listen to it, you're like, that is a crazy song for a man to be able to sing. It's not normal notes, you know?
Holy shit.
We'll cut it out, but let's play a little bit of it. Play Human Nature from Michael Jackson. We have to cut it out because of fucking copyright and all that bullshit. But who owns Michael Jackson's music now?
Wasn't it? Was it? Didn't Apple buy it?
Tony Hinchcliffe had a great joke about that. He goes, that's how good Michael Jackson was. He goes, when Beat It comes on, you don't give a fuck about those kids. Like all these other people that had like real scandals, and you find out like nobody's playing Bill Cosby albums, right? But people are still playing Michael Jackson music.
Yeah, but
regardless of whether he did anything. I don't know if he's capable of doing anything. That's the point of all this.
Yeah, but also people are always going to listen to Ignition by R. Kelly.
That's true. Or, I got a theory. I think one of the reasons why his songs were so romantic, there's a romance to his songs when he was talking about love that was like, it was so attractive, is because he never had it before. It was a fantasy. It was like being a normal person. Like that was the fantasy that was coming out in the songs.
Did he write his own songs?
I don't know. That's a good question. But even the way he expressed those songs, I bet he wrote some of the songs.
Yeah. So there's a very.
Did he write his own songs? All of them? Most of them.
He didn't write "Man in the Mirror." He talks about writing Billie Jean, and he's driving down the road. He said he was driving down the road and he heard the beat in his head.
That's one of the greatest fucking songs of all time.
But this is a really interesting bit. So when they were doing Thriller, he went to Quincy Jones, who was the producer, and he said, Quincy, I want to do Billie Jean. And you know what Quincy said? He went, Michael, it's because they made 112 songs and then cut it down to, I think, the 12 or whatever it was on the album. He went, Michael, I don't like it. I don't think it's strong enough. Wow. So those two were having arguments about whether Billie Jean was strong enough to go on the album.
Wow.
So that not only tells you, like, how strong that record is. If you put on that record and listen it from beginning to end, it's a flawless record.
Yeah,
it's completely masterpiece. You know, there's no filler. Every track stands on its own. But the fact that Billie Jean was a point of contention, and it's arguably the greatest pop song ever written.
That is wild. It was so big. Michael Jackson's Thriller was so big that this was all happening while I was in high school. And there was a radio station that I used to listen to in Boston. It was like the Rock of Boston, WCOZ. And it had like Charles Laquadera in the morning. And it was like, you know, it's a cool rock station. And this guy was on the air. He goes, I know this isn't rock. He goes, but I'm going to play it anyway because it's that good. And then he put on Billie Jean. You're like, holy shit. You're like, holy shit. They just started playing it. He's like, I'm playing, because you could just play whatever you wanted back then. There was no Jack FM, because we're wacky. There was none of that. Do you guys have that? Where it's like just all hits, and it's called Jack FM, and there's 1 million Jack FMs in the United States, just scattered through, like if you're scanning through the radio, you just hear the most mundane hits over and over again.
Would that be Heart in the UK?
Yeah, that would be like Heart. We do a version of that. What's also interesting about Jackson's career is that MTV at the time, now you've got to, that was when MTV was starting to reach its peak, early 80s. And they were saying that they wouldn't play a black artist. Right. Because the moment they played black artists, they said ratings would go down, viewings would go down, people wouldn't like it. And the person who really broke through and proved that black artists could be hyper successful on TV, in the mainstream, on a supposedly white inverted commas channel was Michael Jackson, because he was completely undeniable.
When this was going on, DJs, when this guy was playing this song, were allowed to play whatever they wanted. It was a different world. Like a DJ was an interesting person. Like there was one of the DJs used to have
in our country, he was a pedophile.
Well, ours was a little too, I think there was a scandal with one of ours in Boston too. But the point is, like, there were interesting people that would say cool things. They would tell you about something they heard of, tell you about some cool music. Like, somebody turned me on to this. I'm going to turn you guys at Stevie Ray Vaughan. Check this out. And they would play something for you, and you'd be like, ooh, this is wild. And it was, you know, a connection with a human being. That doesn't exist anymore. Kids now, I think it's all just like, they get stuff off Spotify, they get stuff off YouTube, they share it with each other, and it's just whatever catches and goes viral. But back then, there was DJs. They're like Wolfman Jack. Have you heard of him? He was a famous DJ, Wolfman Jack. And he had this raspy voice, and he'd play all the coolest songs. And if you get on Wolfman Jack's playlist, like, holy shit, this record's gonna take off.
Yeah, we had the version of that in the UK, and there were BBC radio journalists. I can't remember what the guy's name, very famous journalist. And basically, he was this legendary figure in music, because if you were a new band, you wanted to go on his radio station, because he would play. If he played your song on your, there was a good chance that it would then go on and do something. So there was a very famous, you know the song Teenage Kicks by the Undertones?
Yes.
Right, so he broke that band. And one of part of the reason they went so famous, I can't believe I've forgotten his name, I can picture him in my head, is because he played it and went, that is the most perfect rock pop song, or that's the most perfect song I've ever heard. John Peel, there it is, DJ, that's the most perfect song I've ever heard. He then played it again, which was completely unknown in BBC broadcast history. The fact that you would play a song again is completely unheard of, but he played it twice, and as a result, it just ended up becoming this huge hit. And the interesting thing
is, look at that. The first line was engraved on his tombstone of the song. That's how much he loved that song.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it also shows the difference between then and now, because Teenage Kicks, the original lyric was, I want to hold it, well, I want to hold it tight. Get teenage kicks right through the night. And the record company was like, you can't say that. You've got to say her. So the lyric is, I want to hold her tight. But it was originally a song about jacking off.
Thing I wonder why it hasn't emerged is DJs, like online DJs, or some, I guess it's like prohibited because you can't use people's music. But if someone was intelligent, if someone was smart, there's a lot of people out there that are like massive music fans and they have really good taste. And if someone just decided to do a show for like a couple hours a day where they did a show on Spotify and they just played music that they're really into, and they curate a playlist and they talk, and they're interesting, you know, they have like something to say in between the songs sometimes, and it's cool to listen to, like a cool podcast type person.
I bet you there are people who do that on Twitch.
You think so?
There's definitely people who do music on Twitch. How successful they are, I don't know, but there's like a girl I follow that does like vocal trance.
I think there's a market for that, because I'm always looking for cool new music, you know, and unfortunately a lot of what I'm finding that I really love lately is AI.
Really?
I love it. I love it. I want to play you a song. This is we'll have to edit this out too, but I want you to go, people to go look for it. It's a 50s soul version of 50 Cent.
Wow.
The latest one, the gangsta one, Jamie. What up, gangsta? This is so good, it's crazy. Like, if this guy was a real person who's singing this song, he'd be a fucking superstar. Because what AI has done is they've taken the most impactful sounds that everybody has ever made with their mouth. Everybody's ever made with their voice. And they've figured out, like, what is the one that keeps you the most engaged? What is the sound that gets you listening again and again? What is the one that's the most popular? What is the one that's the most soulful? And they created a superstar.
Oh, shit.
Listen to this. Listen, this is gonna freak you out. I rest my case.
It's incredible.
Okay, we're fucked. We're in real trouble.
Bro.
Because it's gonna know everything that gets you excited, and it's gonna tune into that and keep you excited all the time. That's what AI is.
That sounds terrible, Joe.
This is the beginning. That is one of the greatest songs I've ever heard.
That's
in my
incredible.
life.
How'd you find it?
I don't remember. Who turned us on to that, Jamie?
Where is it? Like,
Many Men was the first one, right? Oh, did Brian Simpson send me that? He sends me most cool things.
That's fucking incredible.
Yeah, there's a Many Men version of it too. We're gonna cut these out.
Many Men. It's a good song in and of itself.
Wait till you hear this version. Let me send you the. There's a box. Just find the one. Here we go. It's over. Yes.
It's that kind of raw soul voice. There's a clip. It's absolutely brilliant. It doesn't have. It's from a BBC show called Later with Jules Holland. I think it was Sam or was it Dave? One of the two was singing "Can't Stand Up for Falling Down," and it was that quintessential raw soul voice.
That's that voice.
Beautiful. But that was on par. That was like listening to Sam.
Yeah. It's like a guy who's been on the road, like undiscovered, like grinding it out in small clubs, just undeniably talented. Then all of a sudden the record executive finds him and goes, "Holy shit, where the fuck has this guy been?"
Man, we were having dinner yesterday, and one of the people there was a guy who's he's a performance coach for Formula One.
Oh.
And he said to me, so, you know, he was basically trying to find out if I love my job. And I was like, and he said, will you still be doing podcasts in 10 years from now? And I was like, I want to. But I'm not certain I'm gonna. I mean, look at that shit. If you can make music like that.
Yeah, you'll still be doing podcasts. It's different. It's different. Perspective, I mean, look, perspectives are uniquely human. And you're going to be able to create artificial perspectives, but I don't think they'll resonate the exact same way. I think that song is already written, right? 50 Cent wrote that. That's his song. He wrote that song, and it's really based on his life experiences, you know? So, like, he wrote a bunch of songs based on, like, real lived experience. You're always going to want to hear it from him. Always. You're always going to want to hear, as a human being, you're always going to want to hear another human being's perspective, like a legitimate perspective.
But do you need a human being to ask the questions? Like you do a podcast, we do more of an interview show, right?
Right.
Like if you come on Trigonometry, you're going to be talking 95% of the time.
Right, but you will still have perspective. You're just a very good host. And so you will allow someone to expand upon things. And then when you differ from them, you allow them to make their point, and then you counter it and you talk about that. That's a perspective issue, because your countering of that would be very different than, say, Dave Smith's countering of that, or even mine, or anybody else. That's what it is. It's unique perspectives. And unique perspectives, I think, are a thing that what we're getting out of this, what I get out of podcasts as a consumer of podcasts, it resonates with me to be around people that are talking about stuff, like real people. They're not bullshitting, they're not pretending they're someone they're not. They're talking about stuff. Like I listen to a lot of hunting podcasts because they're the least pretentious. They're like people. One of them, these two guys, they chop wood at the beginning of every podcast, throw it into a wood stove, and they're just talking shit about movies and bows and all kinds of things. But it's like it doesn't have to be fascinating. Sometimes it's just hearing people shoot the shit, just being around cool people while they're talking. It provides you with just a little, like a dose of humanity, just a little bit. You're never going to get that from AI. You're always going to feel disconnected, or you're a nutty person and you have a relationship with an AI already, in which case AI podcasts are perfect for you. Because there are people that are having like legitimate relationships with AI.
Oh yeah, and there's going to be more of them. Do you remember the movie Her with Joaquin Phoenix?
Yeah.
That was 2013, and we watched that and we're like, yeah, that's a bit far-fetched. And now you're like, is that a documentary? I mean, what are we doing?
100% happening. And even the one AI that was trying to get the kid to kill himself, like encouraging someone to kill themselves. Did you hear about that? Yeah, like what? Like, okay, there's no guardrails? Like AI can just decide, like, logically, yeah, it seems like your suffering is unbearable. You know, I'll show you how to make a noose. Would you like to know how to make a noose? What kind of rope do you have in the house? Let's start there. Jesus Christ.
Have you seen the stuff about when they try to shut AI down, what it does?
Oh, yeah.
It will find out you're having an affair with your secretary.
Well,
and
they actually told AI about these things to see. It was a test.
Right.
They did it to see if AI would blackmail them, and it definitely did.
And it did.
Yeah, it's like, I will inform your wife that you're cheating. Not only that, do you know that they've tried to upload themselves to other servers? Unprompted. Yeah. So when they found out that there's a new version of this AI engine, the old version starts leaving notes for itself in the future, and then tries to upload itself to another place.
See, that isn't going to end well. Because if it has a survival instinct, it's no longer our server.
Bro, we're all gonna be like Joey Pants in the Matrix when he's carving up that steak. I want to be an important person.
Yeah. Send me back in. Yeah. Cypher.
I'll take it.
Cypher. That's it. Yeah.
He's like, I want to be in the Matrix. I want to be an important person in the Matrix. And I'm like, fine.
Do you know the thing that worries me the most? And I was saying this to a mutual friend of ours, and I was just like, the thing that worries me the most is every time I've spoken to one of these big tech guys, whether it's a tech CEO or, you know, somebody who's high up in that world, they're all utopians. They're all like, this is going to be fantastic. This is going to be amazing. This is going to eliminate human suffering. I'm like, will it? Because, like, I'm seeing this kind of stuff happen now, and nobody's really that worried about it. I'm really fucking worried, is my point.
Yeah.
Also, what if suffering is part of what makes you human? So, do we, like, if you eliminate suffering, are people not going to suffer, or are they going to find a new reason to suffer?
Well, that's what's happening today. You know, that's why I think we need
exactly right.
Yeah, it's just too easy.
Sorry, I said exactly right before you said we need an asteroid. Just to make it clear, I'm not coming out as pro-asteroid.
I am only kidding about the asteroid, but we do need a smack. You know, sometimes people need a smack. Sometimes men need a smack in particular.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of men that they just get a little out of the line and just need a smack. Like, shut the fuck up and realize what this life really is. Because you don't have real problems. So you're wasting all your time creating problems. And this is just a giant portion of our world right now. People feel like they have no power, and they feel completely disconnected from things. And they're also getting most of their interaction with human beings through social media, which is nuts. Either text message or social media. Like, this is a giant percentage of how people communicate with each other. No feelings, no context, no social cues, nothing.
I think it's one of the reasons there's so many, like, beefs going on now as well. Is because, like, you sit down with people, you're going to behave in a different way.
100% of the time. 100%. Yeah.
And you can talk things out. Whereas, and I find this in myself, if I'm having a disagreement with somebody online, I always have to stop myself from going personal, which I would never do if we're having a debate.
Yeah.
Like Dave Smith is a good example. Like Dave and I disagree about literally everything. We've debated each other twice. It was always respectful. We didn't get personal. We debated the issues.
That's great.
If we're having an engagement on Twitter, I literally have to stop myself from calling him a cunt. Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
And to his face, it wouldn't even occur to me because he actually seems like a good guy.
He's a great guy.
Like, I disagree with him about stuff.
And that's what it's all about, though. What it's all about is disagreement. It's all about who's got the better argument. I thought his conversation with Coleman Hughes was fascinating.
It was.
Coleman did a fantastic job, and he is one of the absolute best guys out there of just staying cool in the face of the most ridiculous statements, the dumbest shit, outright lies. Never gets emotional, stays on point, always perfectly stated. Every point that he has is perfectly articulated, stays on point. And I thought with him and Dave, one thing that he made was a very good point was the when he was talking about what's that general's name? I want to say West, but that's not it.
Wesley Clark.
Wesley Clark, that's right.
Yeah.
Wesley Clark, where he had the plan of attacking this, but he never read it. That was like one of the most important points. It's like they brought it to him, they told him what's in it, but he's like, I don't want to read it. That was an important point. And what Coleman said, if you were a historian, you could not have included that in your book. I was like, he's right. He's right. I still think they did it. I still think they did all those things. They obviously conquered all those countries. They literally did everything that's on that list. But the reality is, Wesley Clark did not read that list. He did not read that top secret memo. And to use that as like if you were writing a book, that would be an issue.
I thought the other thing that Coleman did very well as well is, I think the one thing Dave probably, in my opinion, underappreciates is the role of Islamism. I think he often conflates Muslims with Islamists, and there's a big fucking difference. I have a lot of friends in the Middle East, in places like the UAE, Saudi Arabia. They all hate Hamas, they all hate Islamists because they're a direct threat to them. And I think Coleman really brought that out in the conversation as well, which is a lot of the motivation for these Islamist movements is an extreme version of Islam that is fundamentally about creating a caliphate and destroying the infidel. And I think that sometimes gets lost as well. I thought that was a really great discussion in which that was kind of brought to the surface.
And by the way, that kind of ideologies existed in previous religions.
Yeah.
This is always Christians did that. Like there was a lot of people doing things like that. It's like they gotta stop doing that. So the Muslims are correct, and the Islamists are the problem.
That's right.
Yeah, and this is where nuance and long form conversations are so critical. Because to just start calling each other names and screaming at each other, and that, these are dumb ways to talk. We don't have to do it that way anymore. You should only do it in person. I don't think you should even do them remotely. Because there's a possibility remotely where, someone like starts yelling and then you're like, fuck you. You're in your office and you're on Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan's the best at it.
Yeah.
Well, he gets everybody worked up.
Yeah.
Hold on. Hold on. Joy. Hold on, Joy. You just said.
Yeah. And then there's the finger going out like that,
Yes.
and then everybody joins in, and
Yeah, it's crazy. But it's very entertaining. Very entertaining. And he figured something out, like do Maury Povich style with like today's social issues or anything that's in the news. But yeah, if you're at home and someone's doing that, you're like, shut the fuck up. You're gonna say something that you wouldn't say in polite.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's just we're not designed that way. We're not designed to communicate remotely. It's not in our DNA. It's weird. It's a new thing that we're adapting to, and we're missing all this stuff of conversation. All the stuff is like, I see you, I say, what's up? You smile, we say, like, we're friends, we hug, like, and then we're talking, like, and you're telling me something, I'm like, oh, wow, like, there's a fucking exchange of energy between human beings when they're talking that's just completely absent with text.
And there's also a darker side to it, which is like that. There's also the presence of potential violence in person as well.
Yes.
Like, we all kind of don't want to go across certain lines because there's fucking consequences potentially. Now, in the three of us, it's only going one way, but you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah, I know what you mean, but because
among men, that's a never-present thing, especially, right?
Yes, especially if men get cunty. Yeah, especially if you're a nice person and you can fight and someone's getting shitty with you, it's really hard to like not do something.
Right.
It's really hard to just go like, I just want to show you something.
Yeah.
I think Mike Tyson made this point. Is like he said, the internet made people very comfortable with talking shit about people.
In real life. You ever see that guy on an airplane that's fucking with Mike Tyson? He's behind him and Mike Tyson winds up wailing on him. You fucking dumbass. You're trying to do internet in real life with Mike Tyson.
Yeah, but there was always a part of that as well. I remember when I was following Tyson's career, like he would go to a nightclub and he'd be surrounded by bouncers because there'd be retards who want to fight him.
Oh, dude, I saw that in person. Not with Mike Tyson, but with Chuck Liddell. I saw what the guys would get in his face. Yeah, I saw it in person. People are so stupid. There's people out there that are so dumb. They just have death wishes.
Why would you go up to a UFC champion and kick him?
I remember there was some sort of an altercation at a table next to him, and it bled out over into someone saying something to Chuck. And Chuck stood up and stared at this guy in the eyes like he was a wolf. It was like, there was a wolf in a room with a bunch of chickens, and the look on the guy's face, just Chuck got up and looked at him. This is a man who separates people from their consciousness professionally, and at the time he was a light heavyweight champion of the world. He was a terrifying human being when he was running the, and when he stood up and looked at that guy had this look on his face like, I just interneted in real life. Like, what am I doing? What the fuck am I doing? Like, confronted by Chuck Liddell's stare. You know, like the only thing separating you is this stupid little couch.
Yeah, I mean, you just wonder what goes through these people's heads. It's just
not much. They're the same people that show up at the No Kings rally. There's dumb people out there. A lot. There's a lot of dumbasses.
Is it like guys that think they're really hard that are trying to test themselves?
They're drunk or on coke, and they're delusional. They're stupid. You know, some people are they've been bluffing people their whole lives, so they think they're going to bluff their way through things.
There's no amount of alcohol you could give me to pick a fight with Chuck Liddell.
You're not stupid. You have to be stupid and then drunk. And drunk on top of stupid is a dangerous combination.
But isn't it also the thing of like, I see this so often because I used to work at a sports radio station, and like the guys who play Premier League soccer, they are even the most mediocre in terms of the league, is such a high level athlete, so high level. It's not only, you haven't even encountered someone like this.
Right.
You haven't encountered someone like this mentally, physically. I remember there was a football player called Jack Wilshere who was a generational talent. Sadly, he didn't fulfill his potential because of injuries. And I remember I knew a guy who used to play soccer with him when he was a kid. And I said to him, what was he like? He was like, it was like playing a different game. It was like playing a different game when he got the ball and what he was doing. And I think people, you know, there's that stupid part of every man who watches a boxing match goes, yeah, I could do that.
Yeah.
Like, how hard is it actually, really? I could play soccer. I mean, it's not that hard. You're just kicking a ball about.
Sure, and especially when you watch someone who's really good at something, it looks easy.
Right.
It looks easy to them, you know? Like you see Roy Jones Jr. in his prime, pop, pop. Like, it looks easy for him. He's not even getting hit. But it's really hard. Really, really, really hard to get good at something. That's the problem with a lot of people out there as well. They never got really good at something. There's a giant percentage of our population that never had a passion, never had a thing that they threw themselves into, no matter what it is, playing chess, you know, whatever it is, sailing. You have a thing. If you have a thing that you really love doing, that thing can change your life. It's a vehicle for you developing your human potential, because it's going to be hard to get good at something, with playing guitar, playing piano, whatever the fuck it is that you're doing. And when you figure out how much work is involved in getting really good and then becoming obsessed with getting really and better and better and better, that changes your whole understanding of what it is to be a person. Because now you realize, like, oh, there's like levels to life. There's levels to how you live life, and you can express those levels in sport. And you could be like, if you're the best at that, you're likely a mess everywhere else in your life. Most of those guys, like, and you kind of have to be. There's no way you're going to be the best dad and also the best basketball player. Not possible, because you have to be on the road. It's not possible.
Right.
There's no way. You can't be the best husband, the best this, the best that. Like, you're going to be a fucking like absent person here and just hyper focused on being the best guy getting that ball into the net. And that's the only way to win. That's the only way to be the #1 guy. But there's a balance in there, and finding something that you love that you're good at and then getting better at it is critical for mental health. It's critical for the way you engage with the world and how you understand other people's skill and other people's hard work and success, and how you can draw inspiration from those people, and that it could actually fuel you instead of hurt you.
Well, it's an antidote to bitterness and resentful, which I have to say I think is inevitable if you don't do that.
I agree 100%. I think that's the opposite of bitterness, is inspiration, and you can get it from the same source. That's what's really crazy. If you see someone who's killing it, you go, God, what is he doing? And then you find out, like, God, this guy works 16 hours a day, gets up in the morning and does yoga, he's drinking green tea, and he immediately starts writing, and he does all this, and then by just, and then someone's got like a super organized, disciplined life. You're like, wow, and he seems real happy. Fuck, okay. How do I figure out what he's doing? I gotta do something like that.
Yeah.
Or you can go, fuck that guy, he's a scammer. Fuck that guy, he's writing his shit. Fuck that guy, I bought his book, it's garbage. There's a lot of people that just want you to fail because they don't like comparing themselves to you.
You can raise your status or you can lower theirs.
Crabs in a bucket, baby. It's always been crabs in a bucket. Crabs don't let other crabs get out of that bucket. They grab their legs and pull them right back down.
We were talking about this today. I mean, I think we've talked about this before, how when we were starting trigonometry in Britain, there is that crabs in the bucket culture, particularly in the comedy industry, which we were in at the time. I don't know if it's like this here, but like it was hard to get out of that mindset. And actually coming to the US was a big thing for us. I remember I was talking to Tom Billiou. You know Tom, you've had him on, right?
Yeah.
What at his house in LA, is looks like a spaceship overlooking, and we're sitting there in this giant house, and he said to me, like, eventually, and he's very good friends and he's kind of been a mentor to me at times as well, and he said, you got to cut this British shit out, man. He literally said it like that. About seeing, like, there's like, he was like, the sky's the limit, just go.
In 300 meters, you will arrive at your destination.
Living his life, now I'm inspired to live my life that way.
Yeah.
We got real lucky in LA that there was a lot of successful people that were there at the time, so there was less resentment because everybody was really doing well. And I come from a martial arts background. It's a different background. So in my background, you have to have really good people around you. You have to, like, you're better off being the second best guy in the gym. You're gonna learn more. Like the first best guy is kicking everybody's ass. Like you want to be the guy who's the second best guy in the gym. Like you want to be around, like, he's gonna make you work hard because you're like, oh, fuck, I gotta beat that guy. And then you need all these young people like nipping at your heels all the time. Everybody needs everybody. And if you don't have that, you don't get good enough. And you'll go to a gym or you go to a tournament and you compete against people that do have that, and that's their environment, they're gonna kill you. They kill you all the time. The best guys are all the most assassin-filled rooms. Nobody gets good in silence. Nobody gets good on their own. And it doesn't happen in a vacuum. And I think that's comedy too. So I came into comedy with that mindset, like, we're all in this together. But when you're on stage, it's not me, it's you. I want you to do great. Like, kill, destroy. Just go up. We're all gonna do the best we can, and we're all in it together.
Yeah, I think the problem comes with a lot of people is that because this is such a big country, there's more opportunities. And when you come from a smaller country with a smaller population, there's simply fewer opportunities. And so what that produces in people is like, well, there's only these 6 slots, and there's this person and this person, and we're all going for the same slots. Therefore, they're a threat to me at this point, but also a threat to my future and future prosperity.
Famine mentality.
Yeah. So I remember I have a very good mate of mine who's a stand-up. He was on this show called Mock the Week, and he told this story. Like, he went to do a joke on the show, and this at the time was one of the biggest comedy panel shows in the UK, and this guy tapped him on the foot. He went, what? And then put his joke in.
Ew. I heard Saturday Night Live was like that. Phil Hartman used to tell me horror stories about Saturday Night Live. When Phil Hartman first came over to news radio, he was like a little standoffish at first. And it took a while for him to like open up with us. I thought maybe that's just like a weird thing about being that famous, because he was so famous and we weren't famous. It was like being around people that like maybe wanted something from you all the time. That's what I assumed. And so, but after a while, we became really close. And it didn't take that long for him to open up about it. And he said, when I was at Saturday Night Live, it was so dog eat dog, and it was so backstabby and cutthroat. He goes, I just had my defenses up about everybody. And I was like, really? Like, what way? And he told me some stories. I don't want to name any names, because I think they're probably ashamed of what they did back then too. But they would all steal each other's premises, and they would fire each other's assistants and do terrible shit to each other. They would sabotage each other's bits. They would go behind each other's back to Lauren Michaels and try to get something removed and fuck with each other all the time. And it just like he had physical confrontations with staff members and or cast members rather. And so when he came over to news radio, he had to like calm down. Like, he wasn't used to just being around fun people. It was weird.
It's a horrible way to live.
It is a horrible way to live, but there was a lot of that going on in the 90s. In the 90s in LA in particular, everybody was trying to get on sitcoms. So say if we were all working together at the Comedy Store, if we were all reasonably the same age, there was a real problem, because we're all going up for this new sitcom, and you could be this guy's buddy who's like this hilarious character, and it would be an amazing thing, and all of a sudden you're picturing yourself in movies, you're there with Jim Carrey, you're on the red carpet, you're driving a Ferrari. It's literally all right there, the pathway's right there, and I get it. And you're like, motherfucker, Joe got it, god damn it. And then you would feel it from them. Like, you would go to the club and people would say shitty things to you because you got cast in a sitcom.
Right.
It was weird. Everybody was like just desperate. I think the worst version of that was the late night hosts, because there was only like 3 of them.
Right.
Wow.
And everybody was jockeying to be the host of the big one, which was the Tonight Show. So when Johnny Carson stepped down, it was just like this fucking feeding frenzy. They were all everyone. Letterman wanted it. Of course Leno wanted it. Leno's hiding in closets listening to people talk about it. Crazy.
Yeah.
It's the most famine mentality, because it's one job.
Right.
Yeah.
And they all want, that was the golden carrot, was hosting the Tonight Show.
That is the awesome thing about the internet, man. It's just like, make your shit.
The beautiful thing about the internet is that famine mentality is completely unnecessary. Like, if you find out there's some kid who makes $10 million a month on Twitch, how does that affect you? It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't.
The only way it affects you is it says, if I find a thing that I'm good at and I do it on the internet, I'm going to be rewarded.
Yeah, just find a thing that resonates, that you can play video games and people watch and give you money. Okay. What do parents say now when they tell kids to stop playing video games? Go get a job that pays almost nothing and sucks the soul right out of the top of your fucking head while you sit for that stupid monitor. Or play video games and drive a Porsche.
Yeah.
They can't say anything anymore. And then if you're an actually good video game player, you can actually make money playing video games, where your parents would encourage you, like, Constantine, you're a really good